Derek Mckenz is fresh off a big win against Dundee, but could he be about to get an even bigger win as Hearts are looking to appoint him as their next manager? Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football, and Derek Mckenz, I think this would be his biggest managerial job so far. If he has to go to the capital, if he has to go to the maroon side of Edinburgh, and if he gets that Hearts job, a team that will be looking to bounce back next season. You've got Tony Bloom in there, the investment, the analytics. You feel like the Hearts job is definitely one that would be of interest to Derek Mckenz. You know, one that's got a lot of promise. I think you can certainly build on that club. A lot of prospects at that club in the future. No European football next season as well. To me, that Hearts job is a very interesting job, and I think that Hearts will get Derek Mckenz if they do indeed decide he is the man they want, because I just cannot imagine he would knock them back to stay at Kilmarnock.
Well, I'll tell you what, right? I'd take him at Rangers. I don't know why we're going for Davide Ancelotti, but how about Derek Mckenz? How about that, huh?
Yeah,
I'll put a wee spin on that.
Now, there has been 3 names pretty much from a domestic level being linked with Hearts over the past couple of weeks. Those names have been obviously Derek Mckenz, the guy that appeared to be the favourite for quite a while, John McGlin, who I had no interest in. And the other name was Stephen Robinson, who, to be honest, I actually would have taken, because the guy's finished in the top 6 3 seasons in a row with St Mirren, and I think you can't overlook how impressive that actually is. But, I mean, out of the 3, I'd have been happy with Mckenz or Robinson. Out of Robinson and Mckenz, who would I rather? I mean, I think Mckenz has proved more over his career that he might be more suited to the Hearts job. However, I think you can certainly argue, if you're taking it off form and recency, then does Stephen Robinson have one over on Mcinnes? I mean, I think he does. I think finishing top 6 back to back with St Mirren, that's impressive. Plus, he's done a pretty good job at Motherwell. We've seen Mcinnes have disappointing seasons. I don't think we've seen Stephen Robinson have a disappointing season in the Scottish Premiership.
I would agree with that. But I think Mckenz is just, for whatever reason, the more favoured option. Probably the fact that he's done it with Aberdeen. Aberdeen quite similar level to Hearts. But what was weird about it is you had him and Boyd discussing it, right, on the panel on Sky after the Rangers Aberdeen game, right? And what was funny about it is that Boyd was putting over Mckenz's achievements and accomplishments, but while kind of speaking about Mckenz as like the third person, while he was sitting beside him, and he was on about, he can go to the third biggest team in the land. You know what? He's like, why would you stay at Kelly when you can go to a bigger club in Hearts? While Mckenz is sitting right beside.
Hold up! Chris Boyd said that.
Yeah, and Mckenz is shaking his head.
No, I'm on the third biggest part.
Yeah, I think he was. I think he had the line out. Like, I think he was fishing.
Nah, I think he caught me. That's for sure. Might have been bait, but it was pretty good bait.
No, but what do you make of that? Like, kind of burying Kelly, saying, why would you stay? You need to go to Hearts, and Mckenz is sat right beside him.
That kind of tells me that maybe this deal's a little bit further ahead than we initially thought.
Yeah, but is that a poor look? Is that not treating Kelly with a bit of contempt and like, use our shite?
No, I mean, I think it is, but it's an awkward situation. What does Derek Mckennes do? Just interrupt Boyd live on air and be like, here, shut mate, when I can't talk that shit? I mean... Yeah.
No, but it could kind of defend...
Just get up and walk off or something?
No, it could kind of defend Kelly and be like, here, Boyd, Kelly's a big club as well. You love their pies, mate. You know? No, but I mean, Kelly gave Boyd a testimonial.
Here, they're not bashing Kelly, but they're not Hearts.
No, they're not.
Both of these guys know that.
I know, but is it not a bit weird?
If Kelly were a big club, maybe Steve Clark when he left them.
Yeah, maybe, but... It's just
Kelly are a club that have been pushing, above their weight for a while now. To be fair, all right, this season they're not doing great, but still.
Yeah, but I just couldn't say, maybe not Barry, right? But say, all right, let's say Barry, right, or Rodgers is speaking to let's say they're speaking to Chris Boyd, and say they're going to get the Liverpool job, right? And Chris Boyd's like, well, they should take the Liverpool job because, they're a bigger club than Celtic and Rangers. Is Rodgers and Barry just going to be like, shake their head in agreement, be like, aye. You know what I mean? It's a bit...
Oh, you think they defend their current club?
Aye.
Well, maybe
No, well, here, maybe what people will say is, well, Celtic and Rangers are closer to Liverpool than Kelly could ever dream of being to Hearts, but I don't know. Maybe it's apples and oranges. Maybe I'm looking too much into it. I just thought it was Kelly getting fucking one under the
I
bus.
just think Derek Mckenz is put in an awkward situation that he couldn't really win.
No, I totally
But
agree.
he probably doesn't want to say anything.
He doesn't want to bury Hearts. He doesn't want to say, like, oh, hold on, Kelly, I'm nearly on Hearts' level.
He kind of just has to sit there, doesn't he, and
Aye.
and accept it and nod away.
I thought Boyd kind of left it on 1-1. Like.
Anyway, we'll see if the deal will be done. So Hearts have opened talks with Kilmarnock about appointing Derek McGlin, and it seems now he is their preferred candidate, which is a sigh of relief because John McGlin was being touted as the favourite, which I just didn't understand, to be honest, signing a guy that's into his 60s now, that has already been at Hearts and failed massively before. Look, he's done a great job. Let's not pretend that back-to-back promotions isn't good. I mean, it's a great job, but I also think that Falkirk are a pretty good team that should never have been in League One anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, can we give them credit for winning League One once Airdrieonians and Dunfermline were out of it? I'm going to say no. To me, Falkirk were expected to walk League One, right?
If Falkirk get top 6 next season and he's linked with the Hearts job, you'd be more open to take him then, yes?
Yes, but I just... You know, it's like, well, Rangers got back-to-back promotions. No, they didn't really, but...
Well, who didn't?
from League 2 to League 1 they did, right? But, like, you're not going to sit and praise Ali McCoist or back-to-back league promotions, you know, because that was expected.
I think it's a wee bit unfair on Falkirk comparing them to Rangers.
I'm not saying John McGlin should have walked the championship, but I do think at the start of the season, Falkirk were one of the teams that I would say that Falkirk were one of many teams that I would have given a chance to win it.
Jim Duffy predict them to win it?
Yeah, I think the championship was a very open and competitive league, and I think at the start of the season, I'd say at least half the teams in it had a shot at winning it.
Yep.
I look at Falkirk, I look at Livy, Partick Thistle, Ayr, Rafe Rovers.
Airdrie at the start of the season.
Airdrie, a lot of people thought they could do something.
They finished 9th, but...
Dunfermline, I think people also expected to do something. So, you know, I'd say, see when you've got a 10-team league and like 6 or 7 of them have an outside shot of winning it, then, you know, it's a good achievement for McGlin, but I'm glad he's not getting the job anyway. Hearts are going to try to bring him in, and for me, I think Derek McKenzie needs to take this. He was unfortunate to get sacked at Aberdeen. I don't think he should have been, dismissed in the first place.
Why not wait until the end of the season? Is it not a bit weird?
Well, it is, because to be honest, I don't really see Derek McKenzie going anywhere. I'd argue that, like, is anyone going to snap him up over the next, 10 days or what? I don't think so.
Yeah, but say he gets say tomorrow morning we wake up, right, and Derek McKenzie is the Hearts manager. What's the point? You know, say he loses the next 2 games. What does that do going into next season?
Well, no, I think even if he agrees a deal, he won't be the Hearts manager until the end of the season.
The rumours were once he guaranteed Kelly safety, he was going to take the job. No, I don't think that's going to happen. But say he does take charge of even the last game. Do you not think it's a bit pointless?
I do. Here,
because maybe he loses it.
I think he's in a no-win situation. Let's say Derek McInnes gets in for the last 2 games. See if he wins them. People are going to go, well, there were meaningless games. Liam Fox won 2 anyway, so it doesn't matter. No, but that's honestly how I would look at it. See if he comes in and he wins them both, I'd be like, well, doesn't matter. But see if he comes in and loses them both, then straight away that's putting pressure on, because you can turn around and say they don't matter, but it's not a good start for your brand new manager to come in and lose 2 games in the bottom the bottom 6. Yeah. So yeah, for me, I think that they should just wait to the end of the season. But I mean, you look at Derek McInnes, and I think he's done a good job at Kilmarnock. He's got 38.61% win percentage at that club, which I think for a Kelly club, I think that's a good win percentage. He's got more wins than he does any other results. So 61 wins, 38 draws, and 59 defeats. I think that's not too shabby at all. He done a good job at St Johnstone as well. Yeah, 40% win, over a 40% win record at St Johnstone, the 4 years he had there. Alright, Bristol City didn't go too well for him, but you look back at his Aberdeen stint, he had a 53.44% win-loss record, which is higher than current Aberdeen manager Jimmy Teelan. So
I tell you what, I think 53.4 is really good for Aberdeen.
it is.
I mean, I know we can say, well, Rangers were out the league, but look, a lot of teams dropped the ball.
Oh no, they did 100%. I mean, if we look at Aberdeen, let's have a quick look at Aberdeen's highest all time. It is Billy McNeil in his 36 games. You know, that's one season. Ferguson had a 57.99. So you got Derek Mckenz after almost 300 games, played more games than Fergie, and the win-loss percentage, you know, it's not massively down on Fergie.
No, it's not, but what you got to bear in mind is, I mean, that's an Alex Ferguson team that was winning European trophies, you know what I mean, winning leagues. Derek McInnes didn't have that quite.
No, but when you look at the stats, Fergie 288 games, 167 wins. McKenz 295 games, 157 wins. There's not a massive difference in that.
No, there's not. Absolutely not.
That's not me saying McInnes is better than Fergie. I'm not saying that, obviously not. But you know, I do think, I've always said that I believe that he is probably the second. I think that he is the second best manager in Aberdeen history.
Yeah, and as for and that's just competitive league matches. So if you look at it from a Jimmy Teelan perspective, it's only going to get worse for him, isn't it?
Yeah. Derek McInnes had 8 seasons of real competitiveness at Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Where he had them always in the top half of the table.
He did.
And unfortunately, we're in an era where you just can't really compete for the title. But he had them either in second or third.
Eventually, someone will win the title, though.
Eventually,
could Derek McInnes, with all his experience at Aberdeen, take Hearts and Tony Bloom to a Premiership title?
I mean, he could. But anyway, that's it, guys. I think Derek McInnes would be a good appointment. If it's Stephen Robinson, I think he could be a good appointment too. I just hope it's not John McGlin.
Aye. Would it be the end of the world if it was Big John?
I would be very upset, yes. You know what?
See, you're not a John McGlin arse kisser. You and Cameron is, but as soon as he's linked with the Hearts job, he distances everything with him.
To me, I can't be arsed talking about John McGlin. I don't see how this deal doesn't happen. I just think with Derek McInnes with the chance to go to Hearts, third biggest team in the country, the analytics, the investment, the opportunity that's there, I don't see how he doesn't take that. I mean, you can talk about contracts, he needs a good deal, the money needs to be right. Let's say Hearts offered him the exact same that he's on at Kilmarnock, which they wouldn't. It would obviously be better. But let's say they didn't offer him a bit. Let's say they only offer him what he's on right now. Why would he still not take that?
Yeah.
You know, but we know for sure that he's going to be offered more. I just can't see a world where Derek McInnes is like, nah, I'd like a bit more money than that, so I'm going to turn it down.
And also, Hearts' season's been that bad. See, next season, he can't really do much worse.
Nah, for me, if Hearts want him, I think he'll be the manager. I just don't see how he turns them down.
No, I agree. He'll go. He'll be. You're right. If Hearts want him, he'll be Hearts manager.
Yep. I think he's done what he can at Kelly.
Yeah.
I think Stephen Robinson would be more likely to turn down Hearts than Derek McInnes would.
I agree. Absolutely.
Because I think Derek McInnes already kind of been there and he's like maybe failed. So he's not. But they're not failed. But he's already been at that kind of level, and it's in the end he's had to walk away, or it's not worked out for him. Where I think Stephen Robinson, he might be a bit. Right now he might think he's got a good thing at St Mirren going, and he's a bit reluctant to leave that and walk away from it. Whereas I think Derek McInnes would be a lot more open to taking this chance. I don't even think it is him taking a chance. I think it's just him doing the right thing.
It's the right thing, man. He's got. If Derek McInnes wants something bigger than Hearts one day and Aberdeen's level, he's going to have to go back and deliver.
Yeah, see if he's got aspirations to be at the top of football. I think that obviously I don't think Derek McInnes ever getting to top, but let's say for example he does want an opportunity at, let's say Rangers, right? Let's say he wants an opportunity at Rangers again, or maybe a pretty decent job done in England. I think that he needs to go from Hearts to that.
Yeah, from Kelly to that. Like, I know Steve Clark went for Kelly to
Yeah,
start,
but
but
I think to go from Kelly to like a great job, you would need to massively overachieve with Kelly.
yeah.
Whereas I think that if Derek McKenzie went to Hearts and he was successful there, then who knows, after 3 seasons, if he's got 3 really good years behind him, maybe he would get another opportunity and get, an even bigger job. But anyway, guys, that's it. Catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.